Hey guys, it's About Beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer looks like a collaboration beer. It comes from Doug's, D-U-G-G-E-S, Dugaz, however that's pronounced. Uh, this is their Cocoa. It is a American Double or Imperial Stout coming in at 11.5%. This was sent to me by Rico, and he writes 11.5 Imperial chocolate stout brewed with cocoa, coconut, and vanilla. And he bought it last week, and it was $7. It says no date. A collaboration with Stillwater Artisan Ales. Brewery is from Landvetter, Sweden. So I think I've done a beer or two that has been sent to me from this brewery over there. Not recently though. We'll see what this one brings to the table. Final beer of the evening for me here on November the 7th. And I will tell you guys, with the beers that Rico and Greg and several others have sent to me over the last week or two or three, I'm about 3 weeks out, so you're probably not going to see this reviewed probably till December. And this is first week of December, somewhere in that area, and this is the first week, or actually the second week. This is the 7th of November. So I'm not going to get back into posting 2 a day. It is what it is, guys. I'm going to get to these IPAs and lower ABV beers as soon as I can, but I'm not going to go back to posting 2 a day. Bear with me. If you send me something, it may take 2, 3, 4 weeks before it's posted. I'm that far ahead again. So I'm not going to go back to doing 2 a day. I don't have time. I'm sorry. With that being said, commercial description on this, if we have anything different than what Rico has sent. In collaboration with Stillwater, we always focus on distinct, clearly punchy flavors. This beer is no exception. Inspired by everyone's favorite candy. This is a chocolate bar in a bottle. Unwrap. Sounds pretty tasty. It does. And a great final beer of the evening. According to what they're saying there, a good dessert beer. Goes well with chocolate dishes. Or maybe this is your chocolate dish. You're not having anything to eat to go with this. So, not a huge bottle. Like I said, it's a fairly small bottle. That's all we need to talk about here. I have 11.5%. We don't have the IBUs listed. So let's get it open, get it into the glass. Little tiny hiss, no smoke. Into the glass we go, and while I pour this, I will tell you, not pouring very much of a head, so let's go down the center. Cheese is buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss, general chocolate, digestive, meat, beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. It's not going to pour any head at all, it doesn't look like. Glass red of plain Becker 9 tumbler snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter. As you can see, this is a pretty small bottle. It didn't even come up to the 3/4 ways of the glass. And for, what did he say, it was $11? No, $7. $7, not too bad. And can be sold for a long period of time. Absolutely no head with that straight down the center pour. Over to the light, I'm not getting any at all. It's pitch black. It looked pretty dark coming out of the bottle. Good looking beer other than having absolutely no head. And with the hiss I got off of it, very low carbonation. So could stand to have a little more carbonation to the beer in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Alright, let's get it to the nose, guys. Ooh. Nice smell. I am getting a little bit of diacetyl. There's some butterscotchy notes on it. Damn it, I hate when I get that. I am getting some chocolate notes, but I am getting some big diacetyl notes, guys. Big butterscotch aromas. That's a shame. Now that they might go away as it warms up to room temperature and opens up to the air and everything. But I am getting some big butterscotch notes on the beer. Seems that we've got quite a bit of that over the last couple of months, especially on these darker beers. Most of the time that goes away during the brewing process. Sometimes it does not. And this one's got it going on. I mean, it's got the big butterscotch notes. Well, let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Definitely getting the chocolate. Definitely chocolate, and more chocolate. But a little bit of that butterscotch going on, too. I'm hoping that's going to dissipate as I sip on it. It is very pleasant, though. It's not off-putting. The butterscotch seems to work with the chocolate notes and stuff here, guys. Maybe it's chocolate-covered butterscotch. It's just sad when I see people like Rico and everybody else that sends me beers that they pay their hard-earned money for a beer and then they ship it to me and then I get these big diacetyl butterscotch notes on the beer. It's there. I'm hoping it's going to dissipate a little bit by the time we get to the end and the final chug. But the chocolate notes are there, guys. A nice collaboration effort between this brewery over there in, what did I say, Switzerland? Landvetter, Sweden, I'm sorry. And Stillwater. Little bit of the alcohol notes there too. I don't want to say it's boozy, but I am getting the hints of some alcohol notes on the beer, being the beer, 11.5%. So, well, like I said, hopefully it will dissipate when we come back for the final chug. So, let's do that. Let me go sip on this for a little bit and see what we end up with. All right, guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it for a little bit now. The diacetyl or the butterscotch has subsided a little bit, but it's still there. It's still detectable to me. I can detect it. To me, I am getting big notes of the cocoa or the chocolate. Not a lot of coconut. Maybe a slight hint of the coconut, but the butterscotch is still overpowering the coconut. I'm getting chocolate. It's more of a milk chocolate than it is a bittersweet chocolate. To me, like I said earlier, it's like a butterscotch covered with chocolate candy bar. And it does have a candy bar-esque taste to it. It is definitely a dessert beer. But I've been sipping on it for a while and I'm still detecting those butterscotch notes on the nose and on the taste. But it's not off-putting. It just still tastes like a nice chocolate dessert beer with a little butterscotch thrown in there. So, decent beer, but I definitely don't think it's in the A category. Final chug. I don't know how old the beer is because it doesn't have a date on it. And I'm going to go against the grain on this one because of the butterscotch notes that I am getting. I do find it tasty. Probably not something that I would buy once I've had this and I'm tasting those notes. But the butterscotch is not off-putting. It's not huge, but it's there. And it didn't go away. A lot of times it'll dissipate as I sip on it, and then it'll come up to room temperature. This one did not. So I'm gonna give it a B plus, guys. The butterscotch notes keeps me from giving it the A minus grade. So and being as heavy as it is in the butterscotch notes, I'm only gonna give this an 86. That's where I'm gonna put it, just barely into the B plus category. It's almost a B beer to me. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.02. Like I said, I'm going against the grade on this one. That is in their A minus category. I'm not going there because of the butterscotch I'm getting. That's diacetyl, guys. That aroma and taste should not be there. Over to Untapped, they have it at 4.16. It's definitely in their A minus to A category. I mean, definitely not going there. Maybe I got a bad bottle here. I don't know. But I don't want to taste butterscotch in my stouts unless it says it's brewed with butterscotch. So that's a flavor that I can pick up on now. Brewing beers and tasting a whole lot of different beers, I pick up on that immediately. As soon as I put my nose to it, I could smell that butterscotch and I could taste that butterscotch. So that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going against the grade on both of these. Like I said, maybe I've got a bad bottle here. I don't know, but I am tasting it. I am smelling it. It does have some diacetyl going on with this beer. That's why I'm not going to the A category. So we've got both grades. You've got my grade. Like I said, there are probably, with this grade, there's probably some decent beers out there that doesn't have that diacetyl going on with it, evidently. So maybe I've got one here that it was going on in. I don't know whether it had something going on with the bottle or the bottling line or whatever. I can't think that I'm the only one that's getting that diacetyl, that butterscotch taste to the beer. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm not going to keep harping on it. Decent beer. It was a nice dessert beer for the final beer of the evening for me, but I am getting the butterscotch. So if you've had this one from Dougie's or Doos or Dujaz or however that's pronounced, they're cocoa. The cocoa for coconut and cocoa from the chocolate. So if you've had it, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.